What's going on, everybody? Krauser here, and I'm here to show you what I believe is an effective route to get the Batman Sprite and its variants. So let's dive into the video and enjoy. Alright folks, so obviously we're in the starting area, and you're going to see me looking at the map and at the bus route and see the location I picked. Now, the location we're going to land is going to vary wildly. It just depends on where the bus is going to go in certain areas. Now this area that you're seeing me go to, this is mostly because the bus route's a little away from it. Less chance of some other players landing there. You're gonna see me encounter a couple of bots and maybe a player, I'm not sure. But yeah, this is one of the effective places. Now, when you pull up the map, you'll probably, if you played this season long enough, you probably notice the buildings that lead to an underground thing, and that's pretty much the effective method. Now, word of a caution, you are going to get people that land in areas nearby, like away from you, not like the bots running out the counter, like I just mentioned, and stuff like that. Also, again, this is Fortnite, like any battle royale game. What we find on the ground, what we get, is always just going to be very different. The first thing, obviously, you want to drink your mini shield that you get and find any other shields as best you can. You're probably not gonna get max shielded a couple times before you go fight one of the NPCs that get you Batman, and that's just due to the fact of just how the game is. So see, we got the Hollow Striker sprite, which is good in the sense if you're trying to get other sprites along the way with the chest and stuff like that. There's a bot, and yeah, but you know, not everyone's method is going to be the same. Like I said, the landing spot may veer depending on the bus route, but you're always going to either want to land here in this location or at one of the buildings that leads to the underground tunnel system. And the reason for that is it's just a faster, less noticed way of doing this. And so we're gonna see we're gonna go after Catwoman. And again, make sure you challenge them if you like how the business starts also. Because if you just straight up attack it and defeat them, you're not gonna get a Batman Sprite to drop. Like I said, weapon pool might affect how you do the fight. Alright, so normal Batman Sprite, I didn't pick it up, and that's due to already having all variants in the base one. So, I'm not worried about picking them up. It's more so for the video, and if I do find a variant I haven't mastered already, then, try to max level it. But yeah, so here's one of the buildings that leads to the underground. And surprisingly, some people don't realize that sometimes there will be a sprite chest next to or on top of the building, depending. Now, if you go to where you deal with Catwoman first, you want to, in the underground, make sure you see your character going up on the map. So you go to the next, tunnel system. I'm just trying to get my shields up. And so you go to the next tunnel system that leads right out nearby Poison Ivy. Now, you always want to see what you can grab under here. No need to really rush unless you think someone's already over there and fighting them. One thing I will say, it's up to your judgment how you want to go about it. If you know you get close enough and someone's fighting them. If you feel like you can take the other person, go for it. If you feel like you can't, then, you just get to the next part of this, and, But here we go, Poison Ivy right here. She's the one that's dropped me the most variants. Again, it's percent chance, folks, it's not guaranteed. Just so happens to be. You notice how much damage I've done. Just that. Now, I didn't pick up Catwoman's weapon is because for me personally, the Rapid Fire SMG is not all that. The Recon pistol for me is very great, so Poison Ivy having that, I'm gonna use it. Now, obviously we're gonna go repeat the same method, but you're gonna notice that we're gonna take a little bit longer to get to the next spot. And that's due because the location of Harley Quinn is not like that close to how Poison Ivy and Catwoman were. Now the storm does play a factor into this as well, because unlike the bosses, the Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn do not have the same amount of health to survive in the storm like them. So keep that in mind. So that's another thing too, is to look at the storm, and you can try to prioritize the order, but I always end on Harley just because 9 times out of 10 the storm circle is going to be, let's say area should say, is going to be more centered or up north on the map as opposed to south. So it's just varying degrees, you know, factors, like I mentioned. Like the fact that the Batman buggy is there. Difficult Ghost, not caring about it, already having mastered. And I usually take the buggy just because if it's there, it's a faster means and protection. Now, unfortunately for this, Harley was already eliminated, so there's not much I could do about that. But yeah, that wraps up this part. But yeah, we'll talk more about it. And there we have it, folks. That is my effective route to get the Batman sprites and the variants. Now, if you notice at the end there, you saw me with the Batman Beach Buggy going towards the storm area, and that's because most people are apprehensive to go in the storm because it's not ready for it. That's why you notice me picking up a lot of first aid kits and stuff like that. Because usually if I get something like that, if I don't have a portal extraction site in the, deep into the storm, not like people are going to chase you there. That's going to probably change with the cube variants coming out this Thursday, you know, the 23rd. Other than that, come a couple minor notes. If you can't land at the spot I did, land at one of the buildings that lead to the underground, that'll be your best bet. If the bus route is more south on the map, or veering away from Poison Ivy, but like kind of going nearby Catwoman, you can land more north of where Poison Ivy is situated at that motel location. I usually try to land by the pool. There's usually a few things there, sometimes a Sprite chest, sometimes not. And you know, get geared up there and then head over to the Poison Ivy location. And there might be a Sprite chest nearby the bigger building nearby where she is. Now, I always go with either start with Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and Harley, or Poison Ivy, Catwoman, and Harley. And that's because with Harley, like I mentioned earlier, her area is usually going to be like the area where the storm's going to eventually encroach more commonly. And you'll be wondering, wait, why would you want to do that last? Well, like I said, she's usually the one that I don't encounter much other people trying to get rid of her at the time. That's just been my luck though. So if you feel like you got to do it a different way, go for it. But again, this is just my method of doing it. Because after fighting Harley, at least I know I'm going to have the storm to work with to go extract stuff if I don't have a portal extractor. Which is another thing. It's always best to have a portal extractor. It makes this whole thing easier. Just because if someone attacks you or is getting close to where you just defeated someone and you have the sprite you want from this whole thing, you can get it out of there in time. Because if you don't, then it's just going to be the game of getting to a safe place and extracting safely, and by any means necessary, obviously, because there'll be, like anything, and when it comes to the season, people will hunt you down for sprites, even if you have crap, because they will eliminate you just because, you know, they feel like you're gonna get something that they want, but it's all randomized anyways. But yeah, folks, that's gonna do it for me. I know this is like the not the best video, but I just want to show my effective route for this. I'm probably gonna try to do this when it comes to getting the cube Batman. Because the funny thing is, I have only encountered, I want to say, a variant Batman without fighting the three in a chest, and that was a Galaxy one. Surprisingly, that was actually my second Galaxy Batman. First one came from one of the three, and then the second one I used the Master and got it out of there. But yeah, that's it, folks. Have a good day.